Welcome to NRP On Demand. Civil rights issues during World War I are rather interesting. Europe had moved to a system of total war. They were losing millions of men, and they needed everybody in the society on board in order to fight this war effort. The United States, when it enters the war, is going to move to a similar tactic. They wanted unity in this fight against the Central Powers. We joined the Allies, which was Britain and France, essentially, and we wanted to make sure that everybody was on board with fighting with them. This is important because there were about 8 million Americans of German descent living in the United States. There was a fear that they wouldn't be supportive of the United States war effort. So we can see a large amount of propaganda. Propaganda obviously is messaging trying to convince you that the other side is inhuman and should be defeated at all costs. We can see that this was used against the Germans. The derogatory statement Hun was used against them, and other ways to dehumanize the Germans so that we would be happy and willing to go fight them. German was no longer allowed to be taught in schools. German music, some of our great composers were no longer allowed to be played. Silly things like German foods were renamed. You couldn't buy sauerkraut, but you could buy victory cabbage. There was no such thing as bratwurst, but there was victory sausage. And there were even lynchings of some Germans if they spoke out against the war, especially Germans that were introducing things like socialism. The government even got involved in this, passing the Sedition Acts. If you spoke out against the war effort, you could be prosecuted. Never mind that First Amendment thing. In fact, this meant that there could be very little, if any, dissent. A socialist leader, Eugene Debs, is actually going to be thrown in prison for speaking out against the war, saying that you shouldn't let yourself be drafted. A famous court case known as Schenck versus the United States actually went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court sided with the government in a famous decision, saying that if it's for the good of the country, then the government can restrict your free speech rights. Thank you for joining us with this NRP On Demand broadcast. For more information on the National Reconstitution Project, our mission, or the projects, please visit our website listed below.